Happy Wednesday, everybody. So on Monday, I went over my top top eight best performing best of one decks in Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and the number one spot went to Boros Convoke. And I'm a big fan of Boros Convoke. I've definitely tried doing a couple of different builds, whether or not it's more like mono white humans with the Imidane's Recruiter, which is called Boros Humans. Played around a lot at the beginning of the archetype about whether or not to include Gleeful Demolition, if it was how consistently could you hit the turn 2 Knight Errant of Eos, that sort of thing. And so I figured, I'm pretty close to hitting Mythic, so we're going to see if we can do the last little bit into Mythic with this Boros Convoke deck. I talked about it on Monday, but just really quickly, what we're trying to do is do cheap threats, the Voldarian Epicure and the Novice Inspector being able to create something we can sacrifice with the Gleeful Demolition gives you the Knight Errant of Eos as early as turn 2. The other thing that I really like about this is the Sanguine Evangelist over the War Leader's Call. I haven't been bumping into a whole bunch of Azorius control, so I like this kind of... We don't need the damage pings from the War Leader's Call, which is helpful for the longer matches. But what this allows me to do is, like, turn 1, let's play a Warden of the Inner Sky. Turn 2, we do the Resolute Reinforcements, tap it to give the +1 to the Warden of the Inner Sky. Turn 3, we play the Sanguine Evangelist, and then we have the turn 3 Knight Errant of Eos, which I just feel like Sanguine Evangelist, because it's 2 bodies in 1 card, just like the Resolute Reinforcements, makes it easier to do Knight Errant of Eos earlier. And I do think this is the most important card in the Boros Convoke space. So I kept, the Lightning Helix I thought was a really interesting inclusion, giving us some instant speed interaction so that we can pop Slick Shot Show Off out of the air. And then I like dropping the Case of the Gateway Express down to 3 from 4, because I have had those moments where you have like 3 Case of the Gateway Expresses in your hand, and it can be a bad thing if your board has just gotten temporary lockdowned and you don't have any creatures, right? So I haven't been... It hasn't felt like I've been really missing the 4th copy of the Case of the Gateway Express. And I'm not a big fan of the Sundown Pass, honestly. I think that I would probably be running the Thran Portals, but every little bit of life matters against the mono-red matchups, so I can see the logic of including it, and so far the lands have worked relatively well. So I'm going to showcase my favorite matches from the ladder, see if we can hit into Mythic. Okay, so we have the Sundown Pass, which I love so much. We've got the Novice Inspector, which we can play off the Forge, but then we wouldn't be able to play anything on turn 2. We do have the Knight Errant of Eos, which would help us Convoke if we were able to play the Resolute Reinforcements. And it's close enough, but it's going to be much better if we can draw the 3rd land source. So it's a little risky, but I'm going to keep it. And we could lead out with the Sundown Pass and do the turn 2 Resolute Reinforcements. And we're going to lose against the mirror here because we have the Sundown Pass instead of the Thran Portal. Come on. We drew once, we got one more draw to hit a land. We hit a land, everything will be okay. So they could tap the 3 and then do Gleeful Demolition on the token. A lot of people miss that, where they'll do the Gleeful Demolition on this instead of tapping it first. Looks like our opponent is not going to make that mistake. And we are definitely behind, especially with this tap land. So this is already a matchup that is... The mirror match is quite unfavorable in the going second. And they got out of range for the Lightning Helix on the Warden of the Inner Sky, which would have helped. But this is not looking good at all. I guess I'm just going to plan on flashing in the Resolute Reinforcements, and then Convoke with the Knight Errant of Eos. And hopefully my opponent makes some mistakes with the combat math. It can happen. And I could have swung with the Novice Inspector here, but it's at least keeping back the 1/1s for now, unless they do like a turn 3 Knight Errant of Eos, or not, turn 3 Imidane's Recruiter, or the War Leader's Call. But yeah, here they're just going to fly over the top of us with Warden of the Inner Sky. And one of the things to mention is that some lists I've run in the past, I like to run the Get Losts instead of the Lightning Helix. And in this situation, this would be able to destroy the Warden of the Inner Sky. I'm going to go here with getting rid of the Gleeful Demolition instead of flashing in the Resolute Reinforcements. It makes the Knight Errant of Eos play much worse. But I have to do something to kind of try to slow down my opponent. And at least gives me the 2-for-1. And my opponent is missing land 3, so that could be helpful for swinging back here. Imidane's Recruiter looking really unimpressive. So if we do the Resolute Reinforcements, we still don't have enough to do anything after that, so maybe I should have let the Gleeful Demolition resolve, and they found land 3, so now they can slam an Imidane's Recruiter, and we are quickly going to lose this match. So we would need to run something like In the Festivities, which would be just such a bad card to have. Like outside of the mirror match. Like the mirror match on the draw just feels real bad. So they go for the Scry value. That's fair. And then what? I can bring in 2 Resolute Reinforcements here and trade. Then I have no board. So this is pretty much a scoop situation, because, yeah, Case of the Gateway Express resolves, and there's just nothing that I can hit here. And let's see. Should have tapped the land first in case it wanted to tap the pass for some reason. We can play with that. Like 2 Imidane's Recruiters doesn't help. But we're just dead in the air, right? They just double pump here. I don't have enough blockers. And I'd be 1 shy of being able to do the double Imidane's Recruiter anyway. Wait. Okay. Thought they screwed up for a second. Yeah, my Kingdom for Get Lost. Okay, and the War Leader's Call. Wow. They could have just played the War Leader's Call and attacked too. I think either way we were hosed in that match. All right, so now we're 4-way. Good. We have the Sundown Pass again. Oh, well, we can at least do the Novice Inspector into the Gleeful Demolition on turn 2. This is a really good showcase, though, of why I do not like this card. And if we let out with a mountain, we wouldn't have been able to do anything on turn 2, so definitely gotta do that. What is... Oh, is this Golgari Roots? I haven't bumped into Golgari Roots in a while. And because we didn't have the turn 1 play, we don't get the turn 2 Knight Errant of Eos. We get the turn 3 Knight Errant of Eos. And, what? Trying to remember how this matchup goes. I haven't played it in so long. Like Sultai Roots? Alright. Better than just a pure whiff. Missed land 3 though, so we can't Imidane's Recruiter, and there's the Roots. This deck can quickly get out of control, but Case looks pretty damn good here. I think we just do the Case on the 1-2 that taps for mana. Allow them to double block if they would like to on the Warden. Okay. We've got the Imidane's Recruiter, which should be really close to sealing the deal next turn. If we get stuck on land, that we do have the Lightning Helix.
Let's see what this Hexgol share in my glory.
Making a decision here about whether or not to put the Sky Turtle in the graveyard, I assume. Part of this too is that, like, if you can get rid of the plants before they can tap for mana, although they have the ability to tap for mana with Tyvar in play, so you can this can immediately tap for color. So they have 2 lands here, so they can play this out if they want to. Yep, creating more plants. So just a quick little calculation here. Should we play the Recruiter, or should we Lightning Helix the 2/3? Recruiter makes everything 3 already. I think I like the Lightning Helix for reach. So I can't remember. I don't think this deck is particularly good at life gain. So let's just stay mana efficient here. And we will have some casualties this turn. But as long as we can get him to 6... we've got Lightning Helix for lethal if we hit a white source. Aji, yeah. Okay. Creates a plant token. Again, good thing we got the plant tokens to be eliminated because they have a ton of mana right now. Again, this can tap with this combination. So they have 2 mana. So they can bounce my Knight Errant of Eos. They're really close to shutting us down here. Okay, Inspiring Vantage. Dang it. Inspiring Vantage is a tap land. Okay. That means next turn I've got double Lightning Helix for lethal. And then I just have to worry about them gaining life. You gain 2 life off of the repossession. Okay, that would put them at 7 and out of range of the Lightning Helix. Debating about whether or not I want to trade my Knight Errant of Eos before the plants get too big. But I think this is going to be better to do the Lightning Helix end of turn and look like I've given up hope. Okay, the repossession gives them the life. Oh, and double roots. Man, if this was an untapped source, we won. We're gonna lose because we had a tap land. It's too bad. Again, a good example of Thran Portal would not have mattered in this matchup. where like if we had had damage from our lands, like the tap lands come at a cost for sure. Now they had 2 repossessions anyway. The loop, they're out of range now. But it's a fun deck. Definitely an interesting space for sure. And then next turn we're just basically dead from their attack all.
Take my hand.
This allowing you to sacrifice the tokens to then draw cards. I guess the Soul Cauldron then makes it so that they can give that ability to all of their things. They can now draw a whole bunch of cards. I might be dead this turn. Got the loop off. Maybe I should just Lightning Helix for speed. Had one moment. Yeah. All right. How long are you gonna waste my time here? I should just concede, huh? Is there any way that they misplay here? I get more repossession per fine. Good, great. This is one of those decks that is also hurt by the farewell that we saw in the meta review for Graveyard Hate. So I wonder if we're going to see an increase in... What was this? 19 damage. Okay. I wonder if we're going to see an increase in this deck. It's like I feel like they've been trying to develop it for a little bit, and I wonder if they're going to give it any more tools in Bloomburrow. It's definitely an archetype to kind of keep the eye on. Yeah, awkward Gleeful Demolition. All right. All right, so we've got Inspiring Vantage. We've got a good source of lands, but we're not doing anything until turn 3, so I can't keep this. All right, now we've got a turn 1 play into a turn 3 play. It's slightly better. Ooh, that's a tough call. I think I put back the Imitaten's Recruiter. And then... Alright, so this is mono red matchup. This is a tough matchup for this deck. Mono red on the draw. Of course, you know, this deck wins like 5 games in a row when I'm not recording. And then as soon as I hit the record button, gets slammed. Definitely playing it defensively here. Prowess. Turn 3. Okay, we can do the Godric. That's fine. Lightning Strike. Nope. Okay. Time to gain some life back. And then... I can block here, which can be relevant if they don't have a Monstrous Rage. They would have had a Monstrous Rage and attacked with the 1-2. I don't think they actually have that. Right now I could multiple block to trade for Godric, but I think what I'm going to do is go for here. Scry, try to get an answer. So we can do Novice Inspector into Resolute Reinforcements, and Knight Errant of Eos, and then hope to go wide enough with the Sanguine Evangelist. Could also just do the Sanguine Evangelist and then tap 5 for the Knight Errant of Eos. Double Sanguine Evangelist might give me enough to win. I'm going to do that. I'm going to bottom the Novice Inspector. We just have to try to not be dead. I guess the Novice Inspector plus the Resolute Reinforcements does give me an additional life. Oh, buddy. Okay. That's not great. We can hit a 1-drop, right? We need to hit a 1-drop and Imidane's Recruiter. Okay, well, we hit the 1-drop. Okay. Are we just dead? Depends on how much they can pump the Slickshot show off. Okay, Swift Spear, fine. Codebreaker, fine. We're not dead. And they attacked all. Ooh, that's really good. Five, 7, 8. So I do have to block both. So we'll eat the Swift Spear and Fugitive Codebreaker. Or actually, wait, I can keep this alive and block here. That puts me to 1. And lets me hit for 3 more damage. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I think we win. No way for them to pump. Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't think they should have attacked all there. And I can do, yeah, I can even do the Sokenzon for additional damage. Gain some life back. And GG. Whew, that was a tight one. I think what they should have done is just swung the Slickshot show off and the Godric and left back the other prowess creatures. It was a close one though. All right, we've got both colors, but again, we don't have anything until turn 3. So I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Okay. All right, now we have a turn 1, turn 3. Probably ditch 1 Gleeful Demolition. Not the best hand. I'll get a turn 1 or a turn 2 Knight Errant of Eos one of these days. I got like 3 last night. Could have put back a land and tried to draw the 3rd land by Sanguine Evangelist, but there are only 22 lands in the deck. Probably would have been okay to ditch a land there. And we're on the draw against Boros Convoke, so again, this one's a very tough matchup, especially since we're not doing anything on turn 2. So, knowing my luck, they'll do a turn 2 Knight Errant of Eos. Novice Inspector into Gleeful Demolition, into Knight Errant of Eos, and I'll scoop. Okay, well, they didn't have the Knight Errant of Eos. Everything's okay. Oh, let's see. I don't need to play the Battlefield Forge. And the question is do I take too much damage by tapping all 3 here? And I think I'm going to go for it. If they play a War Leader's Call or an Imidane's Recruiter, we're going to take 10 damage. Novice Inspector, I want more gas than that. I want a Knight Errant Eos or a Imidane's Recruiter. Case? Okay. Case is pretty bad. Case is very bad. Alright. Not much going on with this hand other than hoping that they have a land in hand. I can block 1. I could send the Voldaren Epicure, trade here, take 2. I guess it's better than not blocking with it. I could double block to trade the board, but that feels questionable. Come on, have 2 lands in hand, please. Pop your clue token and do nothing. Don't play a War Leader's Call or an Imidane's Recruiter or anything there. It looks like a Knight Errant of Eos. Oh joy. So this is pretty much their game again, showcasing what we already knew, which was this is a very tough matchup on the draw. I think I'll go... Okay, there's Case. It's too slow to make a difference, though, right? Aren't we just dead next turn? Alright. Your go! Yeah. GG. Alright, for fun. Let's see if we can block... How do we want to block this? Something like that. Yeah. Hopeless matchup. On the draw. Oh good, we have the Sundown Pass. Actually, this won't matter that we have the Sundown Pass, because we can go Soken's Epicure, Lethal Demolition, turn 3, Evangelist. Seems okay. I guess I could have held on to the Soken's and taken the 1 damage from the Battlefield Forge if I wanted to hold this in case we just draw a bunch of lands. Alright, mono red. I guess I could pop the blood token to draw, but I've got one plan, which is Sanguine Evangelist, and then on turn 4, Imidane's Recruiter, and hope to have done enough damage. Hope that they haven't done enough damage. I can't block the Swift Spear because of Monstrous Rage and Trample, so we're just going to take this damage and race. Seems questionable at best. Although, all we gotta do is win next turn. Maybe it's right to hold everything back. So this is 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, so 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, 25. So if each one of those is hitting for 3, I can block with 2 and still be okay. If they kill my Sanguine Evangelist, maybe 14 would have been relevant. That is so many Ancestral Angers. At least they didn't have a Slickshot show-off. They're completely tapped out, though, right? I think I just win. So I could have hit for 4 more damage. Play the 1-drop first. Let's see if I did my math right. Okay. So mono red is actually one of the matchups that's tough for the deck, and I'm winning that one. Alright, we're on the play. We have Cavern of Souls, which doesn't let us cast the Case of the Gateway Express, but we have a metric ton of white drops, which is actually kind of awkward because we only have 1 source of white. But we can still go Warden into Resolute Reinforcements. Seems fine. Now we could do the Lunarch Veteran, but it's a worse curve out. So I'm gonna keep with the Warden of the Inner Sky here. Try to find an actual source of white off the scry. Okay, we're up against mono red, and my scry no longer exists. So Lunarch Veteran's a lot of life, though. So what I could do is I could do Novice Inspector into the Gleeful Demolition. But I'd rather get the life gain off of Lunarch Veteran. If they go for another thing of spot removal, I'm going to be really sad about that, though. But it's too much potential life gain to not try it. Please don't shoot my Lunarch Veteran. We can still be friends. Just plot your Slickshot show off. Kumano. Double Kumano. Oh, joy. Alright. Not being particularly mana efficient, am I? I guess I could go for Novice Inspector and the Resolute Reinforcements. I don't have to do the Case of the Gateway, the Gleeful Demolition right now. I think we're going to use the Case of the Gateway Express to remove something of theirs anyway. I don't want to be blocking, because I want 3 attackers for the Case. And then we just hope that we can race them with the Resolute Reinforcements. Which can be sketchy. Okay, Slickshot show off. Good news is that it will come down small enough that we can kill it with the Case of the Gateway Express. And it looks like they're stuck on... So they're stuck on 2 lands. We could do Warden of the Inner Sky, but Gleeful Demolition is 6 damage next turn. Don't think they're going to be running a board wipe or anything. I'd like to get... This just feels too good. Like, they might just scoop. Because now everything trades for the kimonos. Come at me, bro. Dang it. You didn't want to attack me. Do we want to attack them? I feel like I could leave back the Lunark Veteran. And one other thing with the Warden to tap. I could just send the 2/1s and then tap 3 and still have blockers back for the Codebreaker. It's like they could burst damage me fairly well, but 21 damage seems, or 20 damage seems high. Do I want to leave back Novice Inspector to block? Or Warden of the Inner Sky to block? I think having back 1 blocker is okay. Could be okay to just let them attack me. They have to come up with 14 damage. 3 cards. Let's just send it. Nice. Took long enough that they were like, all right. Okay. All right, we started out 3 wins away, we got to 2 wins away. Had a bit of bad luck, but gotta wrap it up there. So I know the tension is tight. We're 2 wins away from Mythic, but I've only got a certain amount of time that I can do this with my schedule and whatnot. But I hope it gives you a good idea of why Boros Convoke is dominating the ladder right now. And I hope you like the build that I suggest running. We won all 3 games of our mono red, which the build is teched against mono red as best as it can be. So I think we succeeded there. And I do believe that if I were to just continue running this pile, that we would eventually hit Mythic, and I may do that off stream. But I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you've been running in your Boros Convoke builds. I always love hearing back from you guys. And if you wouldn't mind checking out or if you haven't already, you could check out the meta review on the left on Monday, where I talk about the top performing decks in the meta. And this Boros Convoke list was actually the number 1. So take care, everybody. Good luck with your matches, and maybe I'll see you on the ladder.